Hare Krishna. Hello friends, how are you all doing? I hope you all are doing well. This is Ritendra, I am preacher of Shrimad Bhagavad Gita, and today I am going to talk about congruence. This is a technique, this is the concept which one is used in the cognitive behavior therapy. The therapists are using this concept, and this concept, how this concept is related with Shrimad Bhagavad Gita, I am going to make all of you understand. But before I start my lecture, I would like to introduce Shrimad Bhagavad Gita. This is Shrimad Bhagavad Gita as it is written by A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Srila Mahaprabhupada from ISKCON temple, and I would have to say Srimad Bhagavad Gita is neither religious book nor spiritual book, but in true sense pure book of the science and humanity, and I am trying to propagate a humanity on the basis of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, trying to morally motivate to those people who are actually frustrated and attempted to commit suicide on the basis of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So let's get into this concept congruence and how this concept is related with Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So congruence, which is also known as a genuineness. Genuineness is required. Therapist should have to behave like a human as well as a professionalist. Or sometimes he has to behave like a professionalist, and sometimes he has to behave like a human, or he has to show some kind of emotion. He doesn't have to behave like a robot. So is a state in which the therapist is both professional and also human. Therapist is a state. The congruence is a state, is a concept in which the therapist should have to behave like a human as well as a professional. Or in a professional, he doesn't have to show any kind of emotion. As a human, he has to show some kind of emotion toward the patient, toward the depressed person. The therapists are not robot, and there is no reason why they can't show some degree of emotion during a therapy session. And congruence is a concept derived from the person-centered therapy. Person-centered therapy. This congruence is a concept which one is derived from the personal-centered therapy. If I am showing my emotions, if I am expressing my emotion towards someone, then I have to treat myself. Means I am treating myself, because to showing your emotion, you are able to bring yourself out from the depression, because showing the emotion is only reason to bring you out from the depression. So because you will get a lighten of your brain, you will get all the burden will be wiped out whenever you are expressing your emotion to someone. So humans means he has to behave like a human as well as a professional. In a means it's a varies of the time. Whenever he has required to behave like a professional, he has to behave. Whenever he has to behave like a human, he has to behave. So therapist has to behave. For example, if a client discloses the past experience of severe abuse, it would be more appropriate for a therapist to show their surprise and concerns on behalf of the client that show no reaction at all. So actually there is a story, there is a real incident, actually no story. Actually this is a story of my one of the friend, actually whose intimate video or intimate photos has been viral by someone. At that time she got severe shocked, she was in depression. At that time she approached one of my friend who is actually working in the technical department in the cyber crime or cyber cell. So she approached to him, and he was a professional, and at that time he stated that your video and your photo has been viral, then what will you have to do? At that time my friend told her, so don't worry, I am only with you. So he emotionally supported to her. At that time she got motivated, and ultimately my friend helped her to delete her video and photos. So emotional support was required to her at that time. So emotional support, sometimes we all are human beings, whether we are therapists or not doesn't matter, but we have to support people emotionally. Whenever we started to support people emotionally, at that time we will be therapist, because therapist has a one work to support emotionally to the people, actually to the patients. So this theory, this concept, congruence, is mainly talking about the genuineness, how genuinely you are supporting to your patients, how genuinely you are supporting or communicating with your patients. So this is more required. The first therapist to popularize the concept, Carl Rogers, describes the congruence in this way. The more the therapist is him or herself in the relationship, there is a patient and doctor relationship, there is a therapist and also patient relationship. So Lord Krishna talked before more than 5,000 years ago. Lord Krishna listened everything what Arjuna stated. Arjuna stated, Madhav, I am not going to fight this war. This will never happen with me. So what will I gain after fighting this war? If I means my entire clan will be destroyed. If I fight this war, then what will I do? Means what would be better? To be conquered, means to conquer to them or to be conquered by them? To conquer to them or to be conquered by them? What would be better for me? What would be beneficial for me? This is what Arjuna stated. Arjuna asked to Lord Krishna. Here, Lord Krishna behaved like a professionalist. Lord Krishna, so he is a universal form. When Lord Krishna stated, I am the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Lord Krishna behaved like a Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Lord Krishna stated, I am your friend. That's why I am going to describe this transcendental and most confidential knowledge to you, Parth, Arjuna. So you have to listen this very carefully. So I am your friend as well as enemy. This is what Lord Krishna stated. I am your friend as well as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is what Lord Krishna stated. So therapists should have to behave like a friend and behave like a professional. So here Carl Roger, one of the great psychologists, he clearly stated, the more the therapist is him or herself in the relationship, putting up no professional in front of or facade, the greater is the likelihood that the client will change and grow in the constructive manner. Client will change in the constructive manner. So what is the main function of the therapist is to bring a change in the client behavior in a constructive manner. This means that the therapist is openly being the feeling and attitude that are flowing within and the moment. The therapist should have to express his or her attitude, his or her feeling, what kind of attribution, what are the cause behind the particular action. He has to express, oh, this has happened with you. Oh, I see. Yeah, this is very bad. So I have to show some kind of sympathy. I have to understand, as a therapist, I have to understand the pain of the particular person. Unless the therapist is not able to understand the pain of the particular person, therapy will never be effective, or therapy will never be successful. So therapists should have to understand means about the feeling, about the emotion of the client, about the patients. There is a close matching or the congruence between what is being experienced at the gut level and what is present in awareness and what is expressed to the client. These things is very important. If the client is making all of us understand something different and we have understood something different, so this is not required. So we have to develop a gut feeling. Require a gut feeling to understand. We have to develop a awareness about to understand the feeling of the client, about the experience of the client. We have to put ourselves in the place of the client. So this is what Lord Krishna did with Arjuna. When Arjuna tired, Arjuna stated, I am totally exhausted, Madhav, I am not going to fight this war. At that time Lord Krishna stated how this kind of impotency come upon to you, Parth. This is not becoming to you. Means this kind of impotency is not required. Means klebhyam asmagam partha ne tatva upapadyate sudram hridaya dobalya takto utkrishta parantap. ए नपुंसकता तुमको शोभा नहीं देती पार्थ. तुम किस चीज का शौक करे? What kind of this all things for what you are having lament? So Parth, don't yield this kind of degrading importance. This kind of importance is not becoming to you. It doesn't become to you, Parth. And give up such a pity weakness of heart and arise and gesture of the enemy. Or gesture of the enemy. You have to arise. You just have to get up and fight this warfare. मिस्क्लेभ्यमास्मगं पार्थ नेतात्वयुपपद्यते शूद्रम हृदय दौबल्य त्यक्तो उत्तिष्ठ परंतप. इसलिए उठो पार्थ और युद्ध करो. So Lord Krishna kept, Lord Krishna listened Arjuna very well, very carefully. Arjuna stated kula prasanti kula dharma sanatana dharma nashte kula krustasya dharmo nibhayanti vartate. Here Arjuna stated, with the destruction of the dynasty, the eternal family tradition is also vanished. Whenever the family is destroyed, the tradition also destroyed, and the rest of the family become involved in the irreligious practices, irreligion. So Arjuna here stated like a priest. Here stated like you are behaving like a learned person, but you are mourning for what is not becoming to you, what is not deserved to get a lamentation. क्या नष्ट हो जाएगा पार्थ? कुछ नहीं नष्ट होगा ना. So you have to be positive. When Lord Krishna gave a positiveness to Arjuna here stated, nahi pasyami mama nupad yasyo karmanu so indriyaniyam avyapam prumava saptam ruma rajya suranapi chadi adhyapatyate. Here stated, I can't find no means to drive away this grief which is drying up my senses. When Arjuna's senses dried up, at that time Lord Krishna stated, Parth, I am with you, I am your friend. This is the only reason why I am here. I will never let you down, Arjuna. Here, whenever therapist is telling something like to patients or client, confidence is required, genuineness is required, by genuineness the client will put a trust on you. So genuineness is required. When Arjuna stated, I am not going to fight this war because I am not able to see any kind of religious practices in this particular war. I can only see the destruction. So what will I have to do? Lord Krishna stated, so perform your prescribed duty. Niyatam kuru karma tvam karma jaya hi akarmana. Sarira yatra pichate na parisadhyate na tu akarmana. Means perform your prescribed duty path. Working is better than not working, and no one can maintain his or her physical body without performing his duty. So you have a right to perform your prescribed duty. It's something like karmani avadhikaraste ma phalesu kadachana ma karma phal heturbu ma te sangosva karmani. Here Madhusudan Mukunda Murari Madhav stated karmani avadhikaraste Ma phalesu kadachana ma karma phal heturbu mate sangosva karmani. Here Vasudev stated, you have right to perform your prescribed duty. You have right to do your karma or your deeds. You are not entitled to get any kind of fruitive expectations of your karma. So never give up your karma. Just perform your prescribed duty for sake of performing prescribed duty. There are two kinds of karma: sakam karma and niskam karma. Both are related. Both are actually main cause for your liberation. If you are performing sakam karma means the karma which there is expectations are associated. The niskam karma, there is no expectation with the karma. So whenever you are performing niskam karma, you will definitely get a liberty. You will definitely get a liberty from the material bondages. So this is what Lord Krishna stated. After listening all such things, after conversation between Arjuna and Lord Krishna, Arjuna stated, Nashta moho smuti labda tat prasadam Krishna sitasam gata sandeha karishya vachanam tava. Hey Madhav, hey Madhusudan, I have listened you, and now I have derived that Nashta moho smuti labda tat prasadam Krishna sitasam gata sandeha karishya vachanam tava. I will follow your instruction, Madhav, because of your supreme mercy, I make myself freed from this particular lamentation. Oh infallible one, Madhav, my dear Krishna, my illusion has now gone. My illusion has now gone. I have regained my memory by your mercy. Madhav, Madhusudan, Mukunda, because of your supreme teaching of Shrimad Bhagvad Gita, I got regained of my memory which I lost before. I am now firm and also free from all the doubts and prepared to act according to your instruction. Now I am going to be your instruction. I am going to follow your instruction. This is what Lord Krishna gave a knowledge to Arjuna, and by Lord Krishna's supreme knowledge, Arjuna felt like this: Nashta moho smuti lavda tat prasadam Krishna sitasam gata sandeha karishya vachanam tava. Because it's a required. Actually, congruence is a required. It's a genuineness talking, and there is also communication about showing the emotion, showing the attitude. Because sometimes you have to behave like a human, not behave like a robot. Not behave always. You don't have to behave like a professionalism or professionalist. Professionalism you have to follow, but always you don't have to feel. You don't have to express. You don't have to be in a professionalism. So sometimes you have to behave like a human, and sometimes you have to behave like a behave with your patience, like showing your emotion and expressing your attitude. You have to understand the actual pain of the particular of your patients. So this is what this concept is stated, and this is what Lord Krishna did before more than 5,000 years ago in the battle of Mahabharata. Arjuna means Lord Krishna kept in place of Arjuna. Lord Krishna first listen, active listening. If we really want to understand what is actual active listening, so we just have to take an example of Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna was active listener. He listened Arjuna very well, and after listening, and he gave a remedy of whatever grieves of Arjuna. So first we have to be active listener as a therapist, then we can only give a remedy to the patients. Without knowing the actual problem of the patient, we are not able to do anything. So this is what I would have to say by this lecture. This is the congruence concept, means counseling therapy, particular the patients who are actually in a frustration and depression. So I hope you all can understand. If you are having any questions, any doubt, then please kindly put a comment. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Radhe Radhe.